Hello, I'm Laura, your storyteller for today. Today, I'm going to read you a story from Animal Stories. These stories are really good, and some of them are interesting. So, the stories are how the elephant got his trunk, how the camel got his hump, how the rhinoceros got his skin, how the leopard got his spots, how the whale got his throat, the beginning of the armadillos, the leapfrog, the wild swan, a dog's tail, brown wolf, the squirrels that live in the house, mother magpie's mischief. And today, I'm going to read you how the elephant got his trunk. Long ago, in far off times, the elephant had no trunk. He only had a blackish, bulging nose. It was big as a boot, and he could wriggle it from side to side, but he could not pick up things with it. There was one elephant, a new elephant, named the Elephant's Child. He was full of insatiable curiosity, which means he asked ever so many questions. He lived in Africa. He bothered all of Africa with his questions. He asked his tail lump, the ostrich, why her tail feathers grew just so. Ostrich bopped him with a hard claw. He asked his tall uncle, the giraffe, what made his skin so spotty. Giraffe bopped him with his hard hoof. Still, the elephant's child was curious. He asked his broad aunt, the hippopotamus, why her eyes were red. Hippopotamus bopped him with a broad hoof. He asked his hairy uncle, the baboon, why melons tasted just so. Baboon bopped him with his hairy paw. And still, elephant's child was curious. He asked questions about everything he saw, or heard, or felt, or smelled, or touched. All of his uncles and aunts bopped him, and still he was full of stable curiosity. One fine morning, in the middle of a great parade, the elephant's child thought of a brand new question. What does a crocodile have for dinner? He asked. Hush! Everyone hissed in a dreadful tone. Then they bopped him and bopped him for a good long time until he was very warm and greatly surprised. The elephant's child ran off crying into the jungle. He came upon a kolokolo bird sitting in the middle of a thorn bush. Why are you crying? Asked the kolokolo bird. Everyone has bought me for my stable curiosity, but I still want to know what the crocodile has for dinner. Go to the banks of the great green greasy Limpopo River. You'll find out there, the kolokolo bird told him. The next day, the elephant's child took 100 pounds of bananas, the short red kind, and 100 pounds of sugar cane, the long purple kind, and 17 melons, the green cacao kind. He carried them in a sack. Bye, dear family. I'm going to the great green greasy Limpopo River. I must find out what the crocodile has for dinner, he said. They all bopped him once more for luck, even though he most politely asked them to stop. The elephant's child went from town to town and country to country. All the way he ate melons and left the rinds because he could not pick them up. He traveled for many days and many nights. At last, he came to the great gray green greasy Limpopo River. First thing he found was a two-colored python rock snake curled around a rock. Excuse me, said the elephant's child, have you seen such a thing as a crocodile? And do you know what he has for dinner? The two-colored python rock snake uncoiled himself from the rock. He bopped the elfish child with his scalesome, fearsome tail. Why does everyone bop me for my insatiable curiosity? The elfin child wondered. Now he was more determined than ever to find out what the crocodile eats for dinner. So the elfish child went right up to the great, grey, green, greasy Limpopo River and sat down on a log. But it was not a log. It was really the crocodile. Elfish child did not know this. And the crocodile winked one eye at the elfish child. Did you happen to see a crocodile near the great, grey, green, greasy Limpopo River? Asked the elfish child most politely. The crocodile winked another eye. He lifted his tail out of the mud. The elfish child stood up and stepped back. He did not wish to be bopped again. Come here, little one, said the crocodile. Why do you ask such things? Excuse me, said the elfish child on the crocodile's tail. I have been bopped by my father, my mother, my tall uncle, my brother, my hairy uncle, and the two-colored python rock snake. All because I want to know what the crocodile has for dinner. But I do not want to be bopped anymore. Come closer, little one, said the crocodile. I'm the crocodile. You are like your boy. He wet crocodile's tears to show it was true. The elfish child kneeled down beside the riverbank. Will you please tell me what you have for dinner? He asked with excitement. Come closer still, little one, and I'll whisper it to you, the crocodile said. Then the elfish child put his head down, close to the crocodile's musky, tusky mouth. The crocodile caught him by his little blackish, bulging nose, which up until that moment had been no bigger than a boot. I think, the crocodile hissed between his teeth, that today my dinner shall be the elephant's child. Let go! You're hurting me! The elephant's child cried. Just then a two-colored python rock snake slithered down from the bank. He whispered to the elephant's child ear, Young friend, you must pull as hard as you can, immediately, at once, or else the crocodile will eat you up, the two-colored python rock snake advised. So the elephant's child sat back on his little hind legs. He pulled, and he pulled, and he pulled. His nose began to stretch. And then the crocodile switched his mighty tail, and he pulled, and he pulled, and he pulled. The elfish child's nose kept on stretching and stretching. Now his nose was nearly 5 feet long. Just then the two-colored python rock snake knotted himself around the elephant's child's back leg. He pulled, and the elephant's child pulled, and the crocodile pulled the other way. But the elephant's child and the python rock snake pulled the hardest. At last, the crocodile let go of the elephant's child's nose. It dropped with a thud that could be heard all up and down the great, green, greasy Limpopo River. Oh no, cried the elephant child, my nose is ruined. Some people do not know a good thing when it is as plain as a nose on their faces, said the two-colored python rock snake. At first, the elfish child did not know what the two-colored python rock snake meant, but then a bee stung him on his shoulder. Before he knew what he was doing. The elephant's child used his trunk to swat the bee away. "See, you could have done that with the meest nose," said the python rock snake. "That's true," realized the elephant's child. Then with his new nose, he plucked a large bundle of grass from the ground and stuffed it into his mouth. "See, you could have done that with the meest nose," the python rock snake pointed out. "True again," said the elephant's child, as he chewed on the sweet bundle of grass in the hot jungle sun. Before he realized what he was doing, the mud from the banks of the great gray, green, greasy Limpopo River, he slapped it on his head. It made a cool, sloshing mud cap that trickled down behind his ears. "Ooh, that feels good," the elephant's child said. "See, you could have done it with the meest nose. Now, how do you feel about being bopped again?" "I should not like that at all," said the elephant's child, raising his very long and stretched out nose in the air. "Well, you will find that your brand new nose will be very useful to defend yourself with," the two-colored python rock snake said. So the elephant's child went home across Africa, flapping and waving his trunk along the way. He was careful to pick up all the melon rinds he had tossed on his trip to the great gray, green, greasy Limpopo River. After all, he was a tidy elephant's child. When the elephant's child got home, everyone told him how ugly his new nose looked. They wanted to bop him again for his terrible curiosity. The elephant's child had enough. He bopped all his dear family for a very long time until they were very warm and greatly surprised. The rest of the family was so jealous of the elephant's child. They now wanted noses like his for bopping. So they each went off in a great hurry to the banks of the great gray, green, greasy Limpopo River, so the crocodile could give them noses too. And that's how the elephant got his trunk. Thank you for staying with me for the story, and don't miss the next one. How the camel got his hump. Well, good night, everybody.